Hello and welcome. We're about to dive into a world that's absolutely everywhere, yet completely invisible. A world that runs our planet, shapes our health, and, believe it or not, holds the key to our future. Yeah, we're talking about the hidden and incredibly powerful lives of microbes.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. More living things in one little spoonful of dirt than every single person on this planet combined. That is the kind of scale we're dealing with here. It's totally mind-boggling, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to explore.
So in this explainer, we're going to shrink ourselves down, way down, and take a tour of this unseen universe. It's this whole kingdom that's operating right under our noses, literally inside our bodies, and all across the globe, shaping our reality in ways we're only just starting to get our heads around.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start small, in the microcosm, just getting to know these little creatures. Then we'll turn the camera inward to see how they actually shape us, personally. From there, we'll zoom way out to see their planet-sized impact. And finally, we'll look to the future and the huge choices that are now in our hands. All right, let's get into it. Section 1, the invisible kingdom. Time to dive into this world that exists on the head of a pin, in a single drop of water, and yup, in every breath you take.
So, what exactly are microbes? Well, simply put, they're the original residents of planet Earth. They are life in its oldest, its simplest, and, frankly, its most successful form. Billions of years before the dinosaurs, way before the first plants, there were microbes. They are the true ancient rulers of this world.
And when I say they're everywhere, I am not exaggerating. They're floating in the highest clouds and somehow thriving under the crushing pressure of the deepest oceans. They're in the soil that grows our food, and, even crazier, they are a part of you. Right this second, trillions of them are living in your gut, on your skin. You're not just a person, you're a walking, talking ecosystem. Which, is the perfect segue to our second section, your microbial mirror. Let's make this really personal and take a look at the universe of microbes that calls your body home.
Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. There's this idea of a microbiome mirror. And what it means is that the community of microbes inside of you is a direct reflection of your daily life, what you eat, how much you sleep, if you exercise. They're like a living record of your habits.
And this shows you exactly what that looks like. It's a tale of two worlds, really. When you feed your gut microbes lots of fiber, you get these vibrant, diverse colonies that actually work to make you healthier. But a diet full of processed sugar, that can throw everything out of balance, reduce that diversity, and maybe even increase your risk for health problems. The key takeaway is this: what you eat, you're also feeding trillions of others.
And their influence on you is just profound. These tiny organisms help create chemicals that can literally affect your mood. They are essential for training your immune system to know what's a friend and what's an enemy. And they play a massive role in your risk for a whole range of diseases. They're not just riding along, they are active partners in keeping you healthy.
Okay, let's zoom out. For our third section, we're going from our own bodies to the entire planet, because these tiny life forms are running the whole show. This is a planet-sized impact.
Do me a favor, just take a deep breath. Okay, now think about this. Roughly half of the oxygen in that breath wasn't made by the Amazon rainforest. Nope, it was produced by tiny microbes in the ocean called plankton. 50%. The very air we need to live is basically a gift from the microbial world.
And they don't stop there. Microbes are kind of like Earth's unseen engineers. They store incredible amounts of carbon, which helps regulate our climate. They are the absolute foundation of almost all ocean food webs. They're the quiet, invisible engine that keeps our entire planet running. But, and this is a big but, this incredible power has a dark side. For all the amazing things they do, we have to acknowledge their other nature. Because for as long as humans have existed, some microbes have been our deadliest enemies, powerful agents of disease and destruction. This little simulation here is a pattern we've seen throughout all of human history. An outbreak starts, a deadly pathogen spreads. Our survival has always come down to understanding the microbe well enough to pick the right strategy. This isn't just theory. It's the story of cholera, the plague, and, of course, modern pandemics. Understanding microbes isn't just science, it's literally about survival. Which brings us to our final and maybe the most important section, our engineered future.
Now that we're finally starting to understand the sheer power of microbes, we find ourselves standing on the edge of a new and very ethically complicated frontier. For the first time in history, we're going beyond just observing microbes. We're starting to actively design and engineer them. We're on the verge of wielding a power that could totally reshape our world, for better or for worse. And that means we have to ask some really big questions.
For example, should we create and release microbes on a global scale designed to just suck CO2 out of the atmosphere? I mean, it could be an incredible weapon against climate change, but what are the unintended consequences of doing that?
Or what about this one? Should we create synthetic microbes, tiny biological machines, and put them inside our own bodies to hunt down and kill cancer cells? The potential to save millions of lives is real, but so is the potential for all sorts of unforeseen side effects. And this, right here, is the ultimate risk. What if we get it wrong? What if by meddling with these ancient, complex ecosystems that we don't fully understand, we accidentally trigger a chain reaction that we can't stop? The stakes aren't just a failed lab experiment. They could be the stability of the entire planet. Which really brings us back to the heart of the matter. I think this quote just says it all perfectly. For way too long, we've thought of microbes as just germs or background noise. But the truth is, they've been the main characters in the story of life on Earth this entire time. We were just overlooking them. So as we wrap this up, the spotlight really turns to you. The science is moving incredibly fast. The ethical decisions are becoming more and more urgent. Now that the curtain has been pulled back on this invisible kingdom, the real question is, what role will we, and you, play in its future?